Former President Trump is traveling to Iowa today to deliver an address on his education platform.
And today's trip marks the GOP frontrunner's first to the state since announcing what will be, if you're counting at home, a third run for the White House. Kind of third and a half, maybe. His visit comes on the heels of appearances in Iowa from other potential official Republican primary challengers, among them Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who made his first trip to the state on Friday. Former South Carolina Governor and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley also traveled to Iowa. That was last week.
And joining us now is CBS News political reporter Aaron Navarro. So, Aaron, what is former President Trump expected to say about his education platform, and why is he highlighting this issue in particular in Iowa?
Elaine, Tony, thanks for having me. Today, Trump is expected to talk about his plan cutting federal funds for schools that in any way teach or acknowledge critical race theory or quote gender ideology. He'll likely address the anticipated affirmative action decision from the Supreme Court and talk about bans or limits on transgender athletes in school sports. But look at it overall, and it's really tapping into a lot of the quote culture war issues in education when it comes to race or sexuality that have so far been led by one of Trump's potential opponents, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Trump's trip to Davenport specifically comes 3 days after DeSantis was in town promoting his new book. And today, DeSantis held a roundtable all focused on education and critical race theory as well as diversity. So maybe some gamesmanship there from both sides as Trump goes to the early presidential primary state.
All right, so we have some polling. Here we go. Brace yourself. Des Moines Register, it found that roughly the same number of Iowa Republicans have a, quote, very favorable view of Trump and DeSantis. So they're kind of neck and neck on favorability ratings. Does that match up with what you're hearing from voters in the field? And are other Republicans who may not have been polled as well or as highly, are they a threat to Trump's candidacy from what you're hearing?
Right. So I was in Davenport, Iowa last Friday, and from talking to voters at the DeSantis event, I really only heard two names when I asked about 2024, Trump and DeSantis. I was told they're keeping their options open, and they acknowledge other candidates like Nikki Haley, who's already announced her campaign, or Mike Pence, who could run. And they know that they've been making appearances in their state. They're looking forward to hearing from these Republicans. But it was those two that really seemed to take up a lot of the oxygen and chatter from the attendees at this DeSantis event in Davenport. And here's some sound from one voter who drove an hour to this DeSantis event and talked to us after he gave his remarks.
If I had to cast that vote today, I think I would put it in for Ron DeSantis. But there's a long ways to go, and we're just starting to hear about candidates, so I'd like to hear what the others have to say.
I want to highlight one other number, though, from that DMR poll, the undecideds, the not sures. 20% said that they don't have an opinion yet on DeSantis, while only 1% said the same about former President Trump. So there's some potential ground there for DeSantis to make some inroads and build up his favorables, as well as the other candidates that could potentially be jumping into this field.
All right, Aaron Navarro. Aaron, thank you very much.